Yes, India is heading into the second test in Adelaide. This is the final frontier here on Firstpost. And with an advantage, a visiting team has rarely had in Australia. In fact, this is only the second time that an Indian men's cricket team has won the first test against Australia in Australia. A feat that they achieved in 2018, in fact, in Adelaide last. And this time, it happened with a stand-in captain. It happened without a few key batters in the lineup and two debutants in the 11. But Adelaide, of course, won't be easy for many reasons. And I'll break that down to you, of course. First, Australia is hurting. We always talk about a team that is strong and gutsy, waiting to bounce back. And beating Australia in Australia, that too at Perth, ought to have hurt. And this particular punch was brutal because this is the second consecutive home defeat that Australia have succumbed to after that Shamar Joseph-inspired West Indian come-from-behind win at the Gabba. And if we are looking back, let me also point out that the only time Australia lost 3 consecutive tests at home was way back in 1988. So Australia knows how to respond to a strike. The hosts will do all they can in their powers to tilt the odds in their favour. They've not made any changes to their squad, and that is understandable. They believe this side can still beat India. Perth was a mere blip, according to the Aussie players. And many former Aussie cricketers have put their finger on one prime reason as this setback: rumblings in the dressing room.
India in the second innings were 200 for no loss. Maybe viewing needs to be done from the bowling perspective before they start pointing the fingers. I sense a couple of comments made by the fast bowlers show that they are getting a little bit frustrated that this top order has been inconsistent. There are some rumblings both within that dressing room. You sense frustration of not getting it right as a batting unit, and also the media are starting to circle around a few players.
So what can Australia do to tip the scales here? Team environment and getting that frustration out of the system, out of that dressing room, will take a while. What they can do is try to tweak the conditions to suit them best. And going by the initial word that we are hearing, and of course pictures that have been circulating via social media networks, Adelaide will offer a spicy, pacey, bouncy pitch to welcome India. Of course, this can go horribly wrong too, with the hosts already fragile and their batting lineup getting a little more brittle. Of course, and further being exposed to Jasprit Bumrah's guile and accuracy at Perth. Plus, of course, there is history. India's last tryst with Adelaide was painful. A 36 all-out that till date is one of their worst performances overseas.
It was really bad, really sad. We all were shattered. No one imagined that we will get out on 36, especially we were actually doing well in that test match. It was going really well, but you know, in cricket, funny things can happen, and it was one of those days.
They did, of course, come out of that to stitch a memorable series win, did the visitors, but there are a few facts that I'd like to lay out here. This is a day and night pink ball test that will take place at Adelaide. How has India performed in day and night pink ball tests so far? Well, great actually. Out of the 4 that they have played, India has won 3. Here's the catch though. The 3 wins came at home. The 1 loss was that forgettable, horrific Adelaide test. So memories of that will of course haunt an Indian side, something they just will have to put aside. But here's the thing that might just be one worrying sign more for India. If Australia has to battle batting wars and dressing room friction, India will have to figure out just where Rohit Sharma features in that batting lineup, because his stint during the warm-up game against Prime Minister's 11, the Australia Prime Minister's 11, of course, stirred up all the critics. So will Rohit Sharma be asked to hold that middle order, come down the order? He's used to, of course, opening, but will he be asked to shoulder the responsibility down the order? Now, it may be the best solve actually for him and the Indian team. I'll tell you why. 1, Why take away the confidence that someone like KL Rahul and a young Jaiswal have garnered so far in this series? They've dug deep and they will look to carry that form and confidence forward against the pink ball. It's not going to be easy, but at least they have that momentum. 2. Rohit has not had enough time out in the middle in Australia. He's just become a father. He's come back to join the team and has had just a few days out about in Australia. Acclimatizing takes time, and exposing him to the pink ball straight away might not be an apt solution that might help both Rohit Sharma here as well as the Indian team. 3. Maybe this will also free him up to be himself and to express himself like we've seen him to do in formats. Rohit Sharma is one of the most level-headed captains I've seen at press conferences and on the field. He's a solid bat. He can ride the ups as well as he does the downs. And maybe this is what India will benefit from as well. Also, head coach Gautam Gambhir is back from India. He's joined the team, and Test 2 is what we are building up to. It promises, from all of this banter that we're hearing already, to be a fiery contest.